Cartoons, for the most part, have always been unhinged, and today I was thinking about some of the most evil cartoon characters in history, and I thought, might as well make it a video. That's how we got here. So welcome to the most evil cartoon characters in history. But before I get into it, my mom told me to tell you that we could have a sleepover, but only after you subscribe, so get to it. And I'm saying, like, pause this video, scroll down, subscribe, and then come back up to watch the rest. Appreciate it. The very first character we got today is my boy Roger the Alien from American Dad. Let me tell you, it pains me to put Roger on this list because he's not even evil on purpose. He just happens to be in situations, and he is by far the best character on the show. So we can't even really can we really fault Roger? No, I don't think so, but that's just me. The only thing about Roger that could be said to be evil is that he's extremely narcissistic, but he's funny with it. So it's like, we really sincerely cannot fault Roger. If anything, we gotta blame the rest of the cast for not being important enough for him to care about. But in the same breath, Roger's overwhelming narcissism is enough by itself to put him on this list. Roger's presence on Earth is enough to wipe out humanity and start entire wars, and he knows this, but he just does not care. And if you don't believe me, I have a few instances. The first is a little bit lesser known, and that's the golden turd. Roger took a shit, and that shit was gold. He took a gold shit, and since he took that gold shit, whenever somebody sees this gold shit, they start killing everybody around them so that no one else takes their gold shit away. I hope this is enough to make you see what I mean when I say Roger's not evil on purpose. Bro just had to take a shit. The second instance is a little bit less excusable. While somehow on a class field trip to a Hadron Collider, Roger dropped his sunglasses inside the Hadron Collider. So his bright idea was to go inside the Hadron Collider and pick up his glasses. Now he gets in there, and then bro gets shot by a bunch of Hadrons, right? Alright, you're following. I'm glad you're following. And then the Hadrons make this nigga start floating. When he starts floating, Roger farts and splits into 200 different Rogers. And the resulting force of that explosion wiped out the entire planet. There were shockwaves sent across all 7 continents, covered the entire globe. Roger's fart caused an apocalypse, and in that apocalypse, the 200 other Rogers that he split into started a war against humanity. I want y'all to sit and think about that. I mean, really think about that. Bro tooted, and it started a war against humanity. But again, we cannot blame Roger. He didn't do it on purpose. It just happened to happen. He be in situations. Shit, I be in situations. My situations aren't as apocalyptic as his situations, but if he evil, I'm evil. However, while I will not say that Roger's evil himself, his existence is evil. And I can't think of any characters besides Roger that have accidentally caused an apocalypse. Next up, we have Chris McLean from the Total Drama series. If you don't know who Chris McLean is, or you haven't seen Total Drama, then quite honestly, what's wrong with you? Like, what's up, bro? The whole series is top tier, and Chris happens to be one of my favorite characters. But if not for the next character on this list, I would honestly say Chris might be the most evil character in cartoon history. Part of his character is quite literally that he becomes more and more evil as the show goes on, which is crazy when you factor in the fact that in the very first episode of the entire series, the characters get introduced and nothing happens. But in the second episode of the entire series, this man Chris has these supposedly 16-year-old contestants jump into shark-infested waters for their very first challenge. Imagine that. His whole character is that he gets worse and worse as the series goes on, and the benchmark, the very first thing he does is have these 16-year-old kids jump into shark-infested waters. The Total Drama series as a whole has 117 episodes. That leaves so much room for growth, or I mean negative growth, for Chris. Another thing about Chris is that he's somewhat of a child enthusiast, if you catch my drift. Throws an EDP. There's no other way to say it. And I only say this because Chris has so many instances of him flirting with these underage characters, or supposedly underage characters. And the only reason I will not say that he's a flat-out child enthusiast or an EDP is because these characters, I personally cannot believe that they're anything under the age of 24. With the exception of Owen, these niggas are grown as hell. But to help illustrate my point of him being an EDP,
I'm liking the costume. What's your superpower?
Duh! I wonder a lot.
am I wrong? No, I'm not. The last character we have for today might as well be Satan himself. We have Eric Cartman from South Park. At the time of this recording, Eric Cartman is only 10 years old and has already gathered up a rap sheet of over 30 different crimes. When I was 10, all I had to my name was 2 counts of arson and 1 Beyblade. This nigga's rap sheet might be longer than Vince Carter's career. The biggest thing I hear when someone's commenting on how evil Eric Cartman is in the episode Scott Tenorman Must Die, when bro killed Scott Tenorman's parents and then fed them to him in a bowl of chili. While that is without a doubt the most evil thing he's done in the show, I want to pick a different instance, which came in the episode Casa Bonita. In this episode, Kyle wants to invite his friends to Casa Bonita, and Eric gets really excited, but Kyle's not inviting Eric because Eric's a dickhead, so he invites Butters instead. And Cartman's plan from this point isn't to become a better person so he can get invited to the party. No, it's to pretend to be a better person and then kidnap Butters. Well, I don't even know if you can call it kidnap. They're both kids. This nigga napped Butters, put him in a bunker, and told him the world was gonna end. We forgot how long he put him in a bunker for, so for the purpose of this video, we're gonna say he put him in a bunker for 30 30 years. And when he finally came to his senses, or I thought he came to his senses, and took Butters out of the bunker, he only took Butters out of the bunker to then lock him into a fridge. And when the police finally found Butters and went after Cartman, he didn't even regret it. He told them straight to their faces that all of it was worth it just to go to Casa Bonita. It takes an absurd lack of morality to not feel bad after what you just did. Hey man, he's just like me for real. With that being said, make sure you guys let me know in the comments if there's anybody that I missed or a character you thought should have been on this list or a character you disagree with. I might sometime in the future be making a part 2. So if you would be interested in seeing that, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Also like and subscribe, turn on that bell notification. Make sure y'all go outside and drink plenty of water.